Nice. How are you, Paige?
Very good.
Awesome. We're just wrapping up dry July.
Yes, we're almost at the end of dry July.
Nearly there.
Oh, I can't
Home
wait.
stretch.
I've got a bottle of whiskey up there being held by the dead, waiting to be drinking.
Drinking?
Drank.
Drank.
Yeah, see, that's how much I haven't had a drink.
That
I don't know how to
is
pronounce it
so
anymore.
sick. Is that a zombie?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm obsessed with zombies. I need that. Where did you get it?
That was actually a birthday present from, 5 years ago?
Really?
Yeah.
From who? Oh, okay. No, is that...
No, it was from an ex's mother.
Oh,
Yeah.
so can you contact them and find out where they got it?
I probably could, yeah. That was a okay. Yeah.
All right.
Isn't that weird? Do you still keep stuff from exes? Wow, that
Well,
got
I mean,
really
it's
personal.
it's a zombie whiskey bottle holder.
Yeah,
Well, why
that's
would you
fair
get rid of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. I think, yeah, for some people, dry July is like super hard. It went really quick for me.
Yeah.
I was high the whole time though. But yeah.
See? I've actually, like I said, I've never done it, so it's very easy for me.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Well, I didn't
It's been a
realize.
great month.
I didn't realize till I chose to start it out of like not selfishness, but I wanted to do something. I was going through a bit of a rough patch, so I decided I'm going to try and take a month off drinking. And then I find out later that dry July is actually like a whole fundraiser for cancer research and stuff like that. I'm like, well, I could do it to raise money for other people, but that's not why I chose to do it, and I'm not going to change the reason why I chose not to drink for a month. So I did it for myself, but
Do you feel different?
yeah,
Do you feel better?
sober.
Yeah.
Surely you feel better, right?
Yeah.
Well, I've added in like a 30-day workout.
There
So
we go.
I've actually each
Good.
day, so I've actually found myself feeling a bit more fit, which is good.
Yeah.
See, I used to be a real fitness naysayer. I always thought that was like for, jocks and stuff like that. I went
Gym
through that whole
junkies.
period. And then, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or like, meatheads and shit. But now I realize how important it is to stay active because, especially as you get older, like
Right.
we're pushing our, I was going to say we're pushing our 30s. We're well over the 30 mark. But it
A
really,
few more episodes and we'll be pushing our 40s.
it really makes a difference to stay mobile, I think. We just sound like old people now, pretty much on this podcast. Yeah. It was all rock and roll at the start, but yeah.
No, I feel like I've still got some rock and roll left in me. I just got to find
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Get back on that whiskey wagon and start
Yeah,
writing those
that's what it
tunes
is.
again.
On that heroin. Get on that heroin.
Well, do you feel like when it comes to like writing music, you need to be in that sort of mindset? And I mean, I suppose we're coming from being old and drinking and stuff, but like when it comes to writing music, do you have like a sort of environment, like a mindset that you put yourself in? And
I've actually been really fluid. I've tried a range of things, and I can't say that any one thing works for me. I've really benefited from a range of different things. Like last night I was up until I think it was like 2-3 a.m. just because I couldn't stop creating stuff, and I was like, well, shit, I'm gonna get like 5 hours sleep, but I can't stop doing this stuff. I won't sleep regardless. And then there's other times, I think a couple of weeks ago, I actually had to get some demos down. I had this music sent to me, and I had to just record some parts over it easy. Couldn't do it. I couldn't for the life of me. I was trying morning, night, in all these different places. It just wasn't coming to me. And then I think, a week later it was.
Isn't that weird when you get put on the spot to, like, you have to do something and there's a deadline? It just doesn't happen.
yeah, pressure does not work in music, or does it?
Sometimes like at the very last minute, that
Yeah.
kind of, that intense pressure, you bust something out.
Yeah, I think like like a performance pressure, I like that. Like someone going, hey, we're going to change the last 4 bars of this, like just for tonight. Like I can deal with that, but if you're saying like come up with a recording or an idea for a certain concept, can't do it. I think I'm too stubborn. It's not that I can't do it. I think I don't like being confined to like, all right, we need something tomorrow.
Yeah.
for this. I can't do that. Yeah.
Well, that's like I've been working on the FL Studio, trying to write some tracks and stuff, and I sit there literally for like hours, and I'll come up with all these wicked like tracks and loops and beats, and I'm like, I don't like any of this. I've got like a whole collection of all these like what essentially would be songs, and I'm like, I don't like any of it.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Yeah. But like sometimes you kind of have to get that out of your system. So,
Well, it's like a learning technique.
Yeah.
Each time you do it, you work out like what's working, what's not, and you can just.
I think it's about refining the process of writing more so than what you come up with.
Yeah.
I think.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you can really streamline getting an idea down, I think then you're more likely to get stuff done.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing. Have you seen? There's a show called Explained. It's on Netflix, and the first episode of the body of it's, I don't know, you can call it a season. It's a standalone episode kind of thing. The first one was on music, and I watched that last night. Which is probably why I was so psyched to like write some stuff. But it was like interesting. Only humans can piece together things like melody, rhythm, emotion, storytelling, beats, that kind of thing, repetition. Only us. There's other animals that can communicate elements of those things, but not the way. Harmony. Harmony is another one. There's so many different things that create, like, that come together to that other tapestry of music. Only we can do that.
That's crazy.
That made me feel really cool.
Yeah, because you think like I know there's like some animals, even some birds and stuff that can create that, but they don't know that that's what they're creating, I suppose. Like,
Even with birds, so they can learn. Like we can teach birds melodies. And they understand beat as well. There's some parrots that will understand. They can like nod their head on a beat, and they can do it to different BPMs as well. So they do get it. But you teach a bird a melody and then transpose it to a different key, it's completely foreign to them. They have to relearn that melody again, whereas it sounds the same to us, just like slightly higher, slightly lower.
Right.
I'm gonna have to go to the pet shop.
What?
Here we are. I'm gonna get some birds. I'm gonna call the band of Birds.
What?
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yo, Dad.
We're a band.
Band of Birds.
Because I know, like, well, dolphins, they communicate. Were they one of those animals, dolphins?
You know what? Dolphins actually were not specifically mentioned in this, so
Okay.
it'd be worth looking into.
Because I think theirs is more like a sonar through the water, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I think all animals communicate in their own ways, which use sound and stuff in specific
What freaks
ways.
me out is animals actually are really in tune with magnetic forces, like for actual location navigating, especially birds.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me. Like, did you hear that dogs, before they like pee, they'll spin around and face a certain... Wait, I think they face north.
Is it actually why they spin around?
Yeah, they spin
Get
around
out.
and they triangulate their actual orientation before they
I never
chuck a piss.
thought about that. Wow.
You might have to verify that. It sounds like something I made up.
Well, then now that's just put me on. My mind's suddenly just split into two things because I wanted to ask, like, because AI can write music now as well, can't it?
Oh.
I think about artificial intelligence writing music.
Did you hear that AI that wrote that Beatles song?
What?
I think it was something like that. But there was an AI and they programmed a whole bunch of stuff into it and let it write its own song. And it sounded really close to the Beatles. Same chord structure, same kind of keys, same kind of hooks.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's been like, I think since the 1600s, we've used, like, in Western cultures, we've used a very similar bass line. It's pretty much the same bass line to convey, say, like, sadness. And we've run with that for several hundred years.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rolling bass line. Dum, 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 dum.
That's
ba-dum,
it. Yeah,
dum,
yeah, yeah.
dum, bum. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it go?
Dum. I don't have any bass guitars in the house. Do it on a ukulele.
Have you heard of the whole 432 hertz kind of weirdness?
Tell us.
How all
the tuning.
the frequency of a lot of pop music is coming out at 432 hertz.
Well, 440 hertz.
But 440 is in line with our actual vibration.
No. It's the other way around.
Other way around?
440 hertz is like a generic guitar tuner. Anything is tuned generically to 440 hertz. But they reckon 432 hertz, which is a little bit lower, has more in-tune resonance with the
body.
The body and the planet or some spiritual stuff like that.
Well, they're basically implying that some pop music by certain producers, like, well, maybe modern music, let's just say, could be affecting our frequency.
Affecting as
as in putting us off balance.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's been this whole movement, especially online, of people re-releasing popular tracks at 432 hertz to be more in line.
Oh, actually, re-recording, re-releasing.
No, just actually running it through and exporting it again at 432.
Well, it's essentially just tuning down instead of playing a D, you're playing a...
No, but it's not pitch. Is it pitch? No, it's the frequency of the actual...
Yeah, but it's the same with tuning. So when you tune a guitar, so like I say, guitar tuners at 440 hertz, but you can change, some of them you can change to 432 hertz. So when you tune a string, you're not tuning it, you're tuning it a little bit lower than the actual note of a standard 440 hertz.
Yeah.
So I was playing a D flat instead of a D, kind of.
I don't know. I just regurgitate what I read on the internet.
No, actually, I do it. I have settings on my guitar and I tune it down.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't really notice any difference. I don't feel any better when I'm playing it.
I just generally always feel shit. Yeah.
Impenetrable sadness, unfortunately.
That's just my playing, not the tuning.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing music for? Do you mind if I ask your age?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot. I'm 25.
25, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I should have remembered that. A quarter of a century. I made a very big deal about it.
Yeah. Are you a birthday person?
I'm
so shy on birthday. I don't invite anyone.
Yeah, I think I have been predominantly in the past. I know that, if you ask my parents, they'd say, fuck yes, you destroyed our house every single year. So now I'm just destroying my own house with the very few friends I have left.
Yeah.
But yeah, playing music. I started getting lessons, I think I was about 9, 10. So from there, because otherwise before that I was just singing into a hairbrush, I guess. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to hit my pillows with rulers.
Nice.
When I was 8.
You couldn't make noise? Is that why?
I used to drum along to, like, my sisters were into really good music. Like, they really loved stuff that wasn't typical of a lot of people at the time. Because we were Asian, right? But we were, like, listening to Nirvana. Like, I couldn't find any other Asians listening to metal. It was really hard in Perth. So I always felt like kind of a bit weird. But she got me into really good stuff. And then I remember, like, always hitting my pillow with either knitting sticks or rulers. Yeah.
No, I was you know that the classic scenes in any movie where there's like the teenage kid in the bedroom with the guitar in front of the mirror. That was me. Like, every scene is based on my life when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
More concerned with how you look than
exactly. I didn't care about how I play. It was all about how I looked. How did I had to have the foot up there to play. Yeah, that's what made it important.
Yeah, I was thinking just today, I was like, you know what? It's been too many years since I sang along to No Doubt into a hairbrush in front of the mirror and teased my hair.
What track by No Doubt?
You know what? I always remember absolutely thrashing Sunday Morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I first discovered No Doubt.
Yeah.
Actually, I worked for Gwen Stefani a couple of years back when she toured Burswood Dome. Because I used to work setting up the stages and unloading the trucks and all that sort of stuff. And I remember taking out a sheep from the back of the semi-trailer. A sheep.
A prop.
Well, it was like a full-size sheep. It was a prop, man, not a live sheep.
Yeah.
And just like, because we unloaded this, like all the road cases coming out, and then just in the back of the truck was just this sheep, like not in a case, just by itself, a sheep. I'm like,
was it used on stage?
I have no idea. No, I don't think it was. It was just part of the tour equipment.
Oh, I
Just
want
this
to
prop
know
sheep.
the story.
Weird. Man, fans do
That's
some
going to keep
weird
me up
shit.
at night now.
But I actually watched a video of Gwen Stefani, something that happened, like some kid was in the front row and had a sign, I'm not sure if his mum had written or something about this kid was had been bullied and stuff. And she, grabbed him up on stage and sort of did a whole thing. It was actually quite nice doing something like that. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
It sucks when your heroes aren't what you expect. Sometimes, like, the worst thing that you could do is meet someone that you look up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
What is it for Lars? Everyone knew Lars Ulrich was a bit of a douche. Do you remember him walking around Duxton? Were you there?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I hate talking about it because I sound like I'm bragging half the time with all the people that I've met and hung out.
I know. Trust me, I know. Probably come across as like name dropping, but it's true. Sometimes you meet them and they're complete douchebags.
Yeah. I can't wait for people to meet me and be like, fuck, she's a douchebag.
I think, if anything, they're equally as anxious about how they come across.
That's true.
I think all artists are super anxious, insecure people.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think actually the nicest interaction with a big star was Rihanna.
Huh.
Because I was out the back getting my hand bandaged because someone dropped a road case on my hand. And my hand was actually already broken.
Yeah.
This was years ago when I was a bit intoxicated and punched a car window and broke my hand.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know. I was young. I was 25. But no, I was working at the Rihanna concert afterwards, and just unfortunately someone dropped a road case lid on my hand and it just cracked it again. So I was out the back getting it bandaged up by the first aid, and all of a sudden Rihanna and one of her friends comes walking through and they're trying to find the way out. And she's like, excuse me, do you know how to, like, where's the exit? How do we get out of here? I'm like, So I sort of stand up and sort of show her around. I know you got to go back through there, through the airlock and stuff. And just sort of very brief, but she was like a very nice person. Not that really sort of like intense kind of person that you expect her to be.
Yeah, right.
That or she's really high, I don't know.
Also possible.
Yeah, my music taste has changed a lot. What's like your go-to predominantly? Have you always kind of been the same? Because a lot of people kind of stick to, I'm all over the place, pretty much.
I think that in anything that I do, there's a very prominent pop element. Has always been present, but like at the moment I'm trying to explore some new avenues that I haven't yet, and I was just thinking how wide a range of genres that I'm dappling in at the moment with between 3 different projects.
Yeah, you're in 3 bands, right?
At the moment,
Yeah. You've got the cover band?
So, we've got an acoustic duo which does covers. So we're pretty flexible and like upbeat and stuff. It makes us, we can play in a range of pubs and weddings and all that stuff.
That's the moneymaker?
It's the moneymaker. Yeah.
You got to make that bread.
Yeah. And then I've got the band, which is moving into, it's actually really exciting. We're going to be debuting this spring a new lineup and a new sound because we're moving into like alt pop, like new wave, sort of more synthy stuff.
Oh, cool.
And then, oh man, I haven't actually told anyone this.
You don't have to if you want to keep it on the DL.
Guys, for no other reason other than like I've just been working so hard that I've just not socialized. So I've been working on another project which is going to be pop punk, but it's going to be solo and but like live it's going to be a full band, and I don't know, I'm pretty psyched about that. So I've been listening to a lot of like old school pop punk, but then trying to like incorporate some of those modern sounds and modern it's still incorporating some synth in the way that the effects that you're using and stuff. I don't know, I'm really excited about it.
Any excuse for backing tracks is really shit.
I'm actually I used to be anti backing tracks, and I'm very pro having like something just fill in and create that layer. Yeah.
It's one of those things though, they're like tattoos. Once you get Like, once you make one backing track, like one song with a backing track, you're like, hey, we can make all our fucking songs with backing tracks.
Well, I was going to say, if you want some synthwave backing pop, I've got all the tracks there. I've written, like, that's the thing, because I write, I've written all this stuff, but it's not the sound that I'm looking for.
All right.
But I can sit there and go, this sounds exactly like that song. This sounds like that song. This is a classic pop song, hip hop. Like it's all trap music and stuff. I'm sitting there, but it's not what I'm trying to find. I should just write music for other people because.
I always think that when I write something like this isn't going to suit me, but you don't want it to go to waste. It just doesn't exist. Can you imagine how many and think about like the artists that you really like look up to, the amount of sounds and songs that they've written and just no one will ever know.
There's actually who is it? I can't. The name escapes. There's a songwriter from Perth that's actually written songs for like big artists, like big international artists. Who is it? Not Samantha Jade. Like she's got her own thing.
Does she
going
write
on.
her own songs?
I can't remember. Is it her? No, but it's come around before. Like there's some
male or female?
Female.
Okay.
But she's written music that is used for like big.
I feel like I should know this, but I don't.
I'm really curious.
I can look it up.
Okay, yeah, if you
I
want.
can go full.
How big pop star are we talking? Like for
Well, the music that she's the people she's writing for apparently is big, but I just can't remember who it is. Talk amongst yourselves because I'm just getting my
well, now I'm curious.
my thing together.
You can't drop that shit and then bail on us like that. Did you have a point to what?
I don't know.
There's a lot of Perth songs.
Perth song. I don't know why I'm looking. I'm hoping that it's a name that's going to pop out when I see it.
Remember.
But no, I remember like I've
Are they
heard the
ghostwriter or are they publicly writing for?
I don't quite know how it works,
Mm.
but I feel so inferior right now because I've brought up this spark like this good conversation. I can't even back it up anymore.
I'm used to it. Yeah, but I think for me now, I'm listening to a lot of hip hop out of nowhere. Like because I used to be throughout high school. I used to there used to almost be like a feud between like the guys that were into metal, like and the goths, and then like the hip hop guys. But now I'm finding like a lot of the hip hop artists now are like acting like rock stars. You find that?
Yeah.
Like with the whole dreadlocks, the whole punk ethos. Like some of them are fully like wearing goth clothing.
Yeah.
Kind of cool though.
Yeah.
I think it's really a really cool mix.
These fusions have been really good, and I know I've been listening to more because hip hop's. I know it's always had its some sort of place in mainstream, but it's generally been for like specific artists. But I know that there's a lot of young artists that are breaking onto that mainstream hip hop scene, and that's so cool. And we've got a really good scene for it happening at the moment with all these festivals as well.
Yeah. I've got to get out more.
I think it is actually Samantha J that I was thinking of.
Okay.
It says here she's written artists for JoJo and Ashley Tisdale. She's worked with Wycliffe Jean, I think it said before.
I feel like I totally underrated her.
So
That's crazy.
She performed she did another song that was written by someone else. But yeah, so it's Samantha J that I'm talking about because a girl that I dated years back knew her parents.
Right.
Or something like that. So it was a kind of a bit of not in circle. I wasn't in that circle, otherwise I wouldn't be here. But no, I mean, but
Oh, how unfortunate for you.
I could have had Samantha. No, but the name was always going around.
Right.
And then I sort of when I realised that she was like writing music for bigger people, I was just like, wow, well, there's someone from Perth doing something really pretty cool. Yeah, that's actually got a big name. Yeah.
I didn't know that she wrote. I don't know why. I just never really even thought about it. So,
She doesn't live here now anymore, does she? Is she in LA now?
I don't know. She could go on the podcast.
Yeah. Is this your first podcast?
Yes. Yes.
Well, thanks for coming on. That was because we haven't had a guest in a while.
Yeah, we've been working on a few. Our dry July has been a very productive thing for the podcast. We've been working on some new bits and pieces as well that's going to come out soon. So we're sort of
You can't
launching. No, what can we? I don't know.
I guess we can.
We can.
It's just more like one-on-one content where we'll actually pre-select a topic rather than just
Talk
have
shit.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this is also really important as well
Yeah.
for us
Well,
because this is how it all started for us.
Yeah, this is like the main thing. You know, get people together and just talk about stuff. But when me and Daryl get together, it gets deep and dark. And
It's kind of weird. Yeah. We touch on stuff that I think everyone else is afraid to touch on.
So in a sense, we've made it another segment for our podcast
Yeah, sick.
with a
Yeah.
new name. And
It's just more topical. Like it can be political. There's some fringe weird stuff or technology stuff. I think we touch on a lot of topics with guests, but like we never really get a chance to do them justice. Like we gloss over them. So we really feel like a one-on-one with a more focused thing is.
well,
is really
shall
useful.
we try and go deep?
Yeah.
Do you want to go deep?
Come on.
Social media. So I watched the documentary The Great Hack on Netflix the other night, which
Okay.
is kind of a bit scary when you think about all the privacy and stuff that's going on around the social media. Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen it. Can you break that down for me? The doco?
How do I do? I was
So I know that there's
I was
probably
in
a lot of
the I was in the
information.
fetal position, shivering,
Why?
throwing my phone in the corner and putting tape over the cameras. No, so it was all based around the data, and I think like the Facebook and the people that were selling data and realizing that these companies have like over what they're saying 5,000 data points on every single person. And so your information, your 5,000 bits of information about your personal life, everyone has like on a data point. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to our social media, our computers, our phones, our listening devices such as Google Homes and all bits and pieces like that, they're all building like a data network. Like your entire life is being kept on a file type thing somewhere. And
You mean like they're developing profiles?
yeah,
More like individual profiles with these
Absolutely.
data
Yeah.
nodes on them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then when that thing came out with Facebook and that Cambridge Analytica, and everyone went crazy, and then you saw like literally a week later, every website you go to, anytime you open a page, that whole privacy thing's popping up everywhere because people are getting a bit shaky about it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop that it's actually happening.
No.
Yeah.
And companies openly admitting that they're like recording through phones, and they've got Amazon saying that they've actually got teams that go through the Amazon Alexa recordings and stuff from people, and it's just bizarre.
Yeah, these
shit.
they call them always listening devices, where it's like never really off.
Yeah.
You know, like how phones are not really off.
Yeah. Well, think about the latest. Have you tried the Face app? Have you seen what?
Oh,
that
the
looks
thing
like?
that makes you look old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but and that's the thing. When it came out, it was like a great gimmick. Everyone loved it because that's how people love
Yeah.
their things nowadays. But then the story came out that it was owned by a Russian company, and the Russians are taking this data, this facial recognition stuff, and keeping records of people. And so everyone went up in arms of just the Russians doing it.
Yeah.
But no one seemed to care if it's the Americans doing it or the Chinese doing it. No one cares. But as soon as the Russians do it,
That's where we draw the line.
yeah. Yeah.
but because you're quite active on your social media.
Yeah.
You know, is that? Do you consider things like that? Like, how do you feel having so much out
yeah.
there?
I know it's a loaded question from us two old farts. But it's like, well, yeah, we only recently I've even took privacy seriously. I think only recently, but yeah. Do you feel any stress at all when you put stuff out? Like, are you showing too much or too little? Or
It's always something that's at the back of my mind at the very least, and I haven't, I can't sit here and go, yeah, you know what, I've got a system in place so that I feel protected. That's not true. And in fact, I feel that anything that I am doing doesn't differ greatly from your average person anyway. Even if you're not, you don't consider yourself to be an avid Facebook user, that doesn't mean that you're protected. Just because you're not on it, like you're saying, if you've got a smartphone, if you're communicating in our modern world, you're probably, something's being jeopardized in terms of your privacy.
Yeah, there's always a footprint somewhere
Yeah.
of you doing stuff.
Yeah.
Somewhere on some server.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like, when it comes to Instagram and what's the other ones now? Twitters and the Snapchats. God, I'm sounding old on talking about this, but it's almost like you can be selective as to what you put out in terms of like a PR perspective. So you're putting out certain content. Mm-hmm. What gets me is the idea of the stuff that you don't realize is being taken, the information that's being taken that you're not really, you are consenting to when you press that agree box that you don't read. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, you're like, well, they've obviously taken a lot of information that maybe you didn't want, like the location services. Think about that. Anywhere you go, someone can know exactly where you are, what's happening.
That does worry me. That does worry me a lot. But it worries me in general, just like being alone anywhere.
Yeah.
Even if not, like for opportunists.
Yeah.
Not someone that's going to stalk you necessarily. I don't know. It's a weird thing because I guess I grew up kind of like obviously in the modern era.
You grew up with the TV?
Oh, I did. I had one of those.
Was it a colour TV?
Yeah.
Colour TV.
But I mean, for me, I didn't have Facebook till I was 15, and before that, like, sure, there was MySpace for like a very small amount of time. There wasn't really anything like we have now when it comes to social media, and particularly having it on you 24/7. I didn't have that, and I feel like, sure, 15 is still a young age, but it's changed so dramatically now. Like for children to, I wasn't putting up topless pictures of myself when Facebook first came out. I was an adult, but being a teenager, even a tween now, and having relationships and having this kind of technology at your fingertips, that's frightening. That is terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, that's what freaks me out. The whole like people Snapchat. Do you familiar with Snapchat?
Yeah, I've used it.
I don't know how it works.
I believe the correct term is snappy for the cool
Get
kids.
out.
No.
It is not.
I'm too old for that one. But, I don't even know how. Like I see. Okay, I'll be admitted. I've been a bit swiping through Tinder every now and then. I've been going through a bad time. But a lot of people, have their, hit me up on Snapchat, hit me up on, what's the other one now? Instagram. Fuck, I can't remember. I don't even know how the Snapchat works. Like you have to, you have to, so people obviously send photos between each other, but then you have to be friends with that person, but you can't be friends with that person unless you get the photo from them. It's like that. I don't know.
You can add, I think there's there's a username or a handle like most socials. So long as they give you that, I think on Snapchat you can do that. I'm not really on Snapchat.
It's kind of a hybrid between like profile based / messaging based, right? So they can see. It's like having dailies all the time. Is that a good way to equate it? It's like having dailies on Instagram. On Instagram, how you have the temporary
stories?
Oh, stories.
Not dailies.
Stories. No, they used to be called dailies. I'm pretty
Now
sure.
they're called stories.
Now they're called stories.
And Facebook now owns Instagram, so they're all doing the story thing. Now YouTube's doing stories.
Oh,
you seen that?
Fuck's
Yeah.
sake.
Yeah, but I guess that's the idea of Snapchat, right? It's temporary.
Temporary.
Yeah, and if you take a screenshot, it alerts.
And
Is that right?
so is that why everyone uses it as? I don't want to sound old and dirty, but people use it to send like
flirty stuff. Yeah.
flirty,
Yeah.
dirty stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
But
I
then you
guess-
have to like choose. They have to allow that person
Yeah.
to.
I guess the bad
send
thing,
them.
it allows that behavior.
Mm.
It really breeds that behavior, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And
that's why I'm not on it.
Any
Yeah.
level of feeling like you're not going to be leaving that out in the world forever, then or some level of anonymity, I think enables that or encourages it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think we're finding that that's not the case anyway. You got to be careful no matter what. So
Well, that's what. Yeah, I never look at something like the stories and stuff as if they're just there for that period. Anything I put up, if I put up a story, it's in my mind that it's always going to be there somewhere. So that's the way that I think about it when I do it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's like when you're putting that stuff out there. I think we talked. No, I don't want to say it. No, I got to think about that. Can't say anything about the.
Careful.
Yeah, I have to be careful. We're going to put this on YouTube. I have to retract what's in my mind right now. Swastikas and stuff.
What do you mean?
No, so like we talked about, like if you're not doing anything wrong,
Right.
you not have nothing to worry about. But at the same time, the whole idea of people having this so-called surveillance and information on you at all times is kind of a bit Nazi-ish. Like,
yeah, we're on the precipice of actually seeing the consequences of this system. It hasn't happened yet. We don't understand exactly what we're in for. And I think that's while it's scary and we're anticipating it, we're also going about our day-to-day lives kind of shrugging it off. But I
Yeah.
mean, we're also faced with a lot of issues at the moment. So it's kind of, I don't know, pick your battles, right?
well, yeah, because I feel like it's nothing that's affecting us now. But who knows? Like, you've seen Minority Report, Tom Cruise. You know, pre-crime. You haven't seen Minority Report? With it's that movie about pre-crime where they detect they predict through information algorithms that someone's going to commit a crime, and they arrest them before they commit the crime.
Ooh. Ooh. Interesting.
Yeah, and it becomes a whole cycle of like,
But
someone gets arrested because they preempted that they're going to rob a bank or murder someone.
Yeah.
But then they haven't actually done it. So what's the basis of their thing?
But then they realize a flaw in the system that by intervening and arresting them, they're affecting the course of
Yeah, so it never
time. So it never happens.
It never
So
actually
there's-
happens.
there's no
So are they
basis
guilty
to-
of the crime?
Yeah, are you guilty if you're
Right.
about to do something, but you don't even know that you're about to do it?
Ooh.
So it's like that deep.
Yeah. So that's okay. Yeah, we're in that situation kind of right now. We're like, oh, I think you're gonna do something.
Yeah, and I look at it like, especially with the talk about all these AIs creating algorithms, and they're reading all that information and creating these digital profiles on people.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with it?
Yeah. Well, I think people are still stuck with the notion that people are surveilling. There's an actual guy listening to your phone calls. I don't think that's the case. I think it's just all being fed into a big database where they're just hoarding information.
And a computer runs through
And then
its,
a computer runs
keywords
through it, and then it can pick up certain keywords, certain phrases maybe, and then you can put people on different lists and stuff like that.
and then at the very end, there's an old guy with a white beard and monocle, and it comes out like a...
Yeah.
That's the one we're looking for.
You said the N word precisely 12 times on that last phone call.
Hand this to assassin number 775. There we are. Report back. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Bring back
it's,
the assassins.
I know it's in paranoid, but I think because we saw all this stuff come into play, right? We saw technology get more and more invasive over time, whereas, like you were saying, like the younger people are kind of born into it; they don't really question it. So I think it's coming to a weird tipping point now. Like even Elon Musk said, like once AI is fully sentient, then do we really have control over it anymore? I think that's
I did look into this a little bit. It was a while ago, so I don't know that I can regurgitate too much accurate information, but I remember one thing that I was looking into, and they were like, look, really, any AI software that we create is still going to be, it's only going to be able to go in a direction that we've put it in.
Yes,
We put it
yeah.
in a certain direction. It's only going to be able to do that, and we do have control over it. But I mean, that's at a point where we're predicting that, we can only see so far into what we're doing with it. But having said all of this, I realized that, okay, someone said this to me the other day, and they were like, if in the future we could create time travel, wouldn't we have already seen people from the future?
Well, that's a big rabbit hole because some people do claim that time travel is and was possible, and it's actually there are people here now not from this time.
It's the
or they're altering things.
What's the name of the paradox? The
time paradox.
No. There's an actual term for it. Something I think bird brain paradox, but that's something else we're talking about. But it's that the paradox that. So the example was a guy opens up his front door, and he's there's a box on the front door that's got a book in it that says how to build a time machine. So he builds a time machine. And then he opens up the time machine and he puts the book in the time machine. But then the argument was, how can he put the book in the time machine? Was it like you can't build the time machine without the book, and you can't put the book without the time machine? It created this loop.
Well, it's a paradox, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this loop
It
couldn't
cancels
work.
itself out. Yeah.
But they're
I
saying
agree.
that the only way it could work is if that book arrived in another dimension, like another parallel of that existence.
Okay.
So that would explain why we're not seeing people from the future, because they're not
Gotcha.
existing on this timeline.
Yeah.
They go into an alternate version. So they're probably alternate versions of us with time travelers.
Gotcha.
So it actually jumps, and that's the whole multiverse quantum theory.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's my go-to when I get...
Or that thing how
quantum physics, yeah.
the second that a successful time machine is built, things would immediately start coming out of it. Because that's when you open that portal from that point in time, the only way to emerge is to go back through that time when it was created. So basically, the second you create a time machine, stuff will start coming through,
Whoa.
immediately. Because does that make sense?
No, it can't, because the whole idea was the banana. When you build a time machine or like a time portal, the first thing to come through is a banana. Because when you build a time machine in the future and you put something to go back in time, you're going to put a banana.
Why banana?
Because you put a banana. It could be anything, but in my mind, for some reason, it's a banana.
What? That makes no sense.
We're not giving you a time machine.
But you can't put the banana in the time machine because it needs a second. It needs to have the time machine to go back into.
I see what you mean.
But you can't have that because you haven't had the first one yet. So it's just
Gotcha.
this loop paradox. I'm making myself crazy.
Yeah, I know. But plus, it's also assuming that time machine, it has to be a physical machine. What if it's not? What if it's just a portal that can open at any time in time and space?
Well, that becomes a whole different level.
Why does it have to be a machine?
Well, this goes back to what I was thinking about the AI you're saying, where that whole argument that AI can't become sentient because we program it, and it's always going to run off the program that we give it. There's a list of what are they called? Not laws, but sort of almost like rules that AIs have to abide by when they create them. So yeah, an AI can never actually become sentient because it's always under our programming. But when people talk about AI becoming conscious and waking up and being self-aware, we're not talking science anymore. We're actually talking more like religious belief type thing.
More spiritual.
Yeah, more spiritual. For some to actually create like that.
Morals.
Yeah.
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 And that goes beyond any sort of scientific time travel. We're talking the creation of life.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
And we can't even work out how we were created,
Yeah.
let alone how a freaking computer can create itself.
Yeah. And I think to assume that something is not conscious, like you could actually say that this iPad is somewhat aware. It has to be. It is listening. It is thinking.
I like that Black Mirror has dabbled into that.
Yeah. Have you seen the Miley Cyrus one?
Yeah, of course I have.
I still haven't seen that one. Is it good?
I really enjoyed that last season. I thought it was.
How good. But you don't have to have watched. They're all standalone,
they're
right?
standalone type.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Because I stopped watching it for a while.
Did it
because
freak you out?
Some of it, I think, in the halfway through the second season, I just stopped watching. I couldn't do it anymore. I was getting actually a bit paranoid.
Yeah.
When they were recording the memories,
Yeah.
like in the eyes, like the eye was actually recording memories, and they can go back and watch
that
the memories.
one.
And they, what happened? He saw his memory through the other person's memory. And found out like his wife was
she's
cheating or something.
yeah.
I just sat there and I'm like, off. I wasn't going to leave this for a couple of years because I could not do that. Just freaked the crap out of me.
Yeah. I mean, this is what technology does. It actually makes us question our moral integrity and what our boundaries are, what our limits are, and what we're actually comfortable with. And I think that we're finding exactly that with these breaches of privacy right now within social media and general devices and
Yeah, for sure. But I feel like every year they push the line a bit further.
yeah.
You know, can we get access to this now?
Well, that's the thing. Like, what's that? The way that we talk about when they bring something, they bring it in like incrementally, but in a very subtle way that we almost accept it. Like, we don't look at it as being something forceful or something greater than it is, because they do it so slowly and so minutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they do it through smoke and mirrors. We keep saying they. We sound so paranoid. They. But I guess the people that want the power, I guess, because you can't immediately jump from 1 to 10. You've got to ease it in. You know how people always say, oh, Big Brother is coming. You know, there's going to be cameras on every corner of the street. You have a camera in your pants right now.
Yeah.
So it's already here, I feel.
Yeah.
And now there's cameras on every street corner, and no one seems to care.
Yeah. Like, all right.
Yeah. So when you do it slowly, people kind of accept it, I think. So, but when you see the transition over, let's say, 30, 40 years, it's massive.
Yeah. And then it feels like it's too monumental at that point to
go back.
Yeah.
It's like you've climbed this huge mountain and there's no way you're going to not have a phone now.
Yeah.
Or could you? Like, how long can you go without your phone?
Well, that's the question. I mean, you rely on it so heavily, not only for socializing, but so many people really need it for their career.
Business, stuff like that.
Yeah. And for storing everything, I mean, we don't take physical photos anymore. We don't have photo albums. No, we've got hard drives and we've got the cloud and shit like that. All your banking and all your personal information, everything that you need is behind a screen.
Even money nowadays isn't real.
Yeah.
Money is on computers. Like,
money was never real.
Oh, that was good. I was literally about to say that. Yeah. Hey, well, it goes back to the Bible. Didn't Jesus get really pissed at the bankers?
Oh,
He did.
Jeebus.
Jesus got really pissed at the bankers because they were charging him.
they made him wait in line. And
No, because when Jesus rose and
I haven't
came
got time
back,
for this. I only lived to 30.
when he came back and he went back to the temple, he went back to, I think, was it Jerusalem or Israel? I can't remember. But he basically saw people in debt, and he saw bankers giving out money at interest. And he saw people gambling. He saw currency being used. And he said, that shit is the end of the world if you keep doing that. And he's right.
wait,
Yeah.
hang on. Let's go back a couple of 1,000 years. So he actually said that?
Yeah.
He was a real person?
Well, I'm saying according to the Bible. I'm just saying.
See, this is just me going to sound so freaking stupid, but I'm always actually confused. Like, was Jesus Christ an actual person, or is he like Santa Claus? Is he a
No.
story? Was he an actual person?
Either way,
or is that a bit of a controversial debate between?
it's a worthy question, but my point was more that even in biblical times, they were aware that currency was disruptive to people.
Yeah.
And
The credit system
the credit system
that they introduced to allow the the people crossed through Jerusalem, through the deserts, because they kept getting robbed. So they said, well...
So they started borrowing money through what, like tokens, right?
Yeah, they'd hand in their wealth on the coast, which we now call Israel, like Tel Aviv or something, and they'd get a token that says you have this much worth. And when they get through the desert to Jerusalem, they hand it in, and they get their wealth in return. So that was the start of the whole credit system.
The credit system, yeah.
And then they figured, well, we're doing that. When you get to there, we'll give you your worth, but we're going to take a little bit out of it.
I'm just stoked that Paige said money was never real. Yeah, I think, well, it's not backed by anything. There's no, like, tangible worth.
No.
Right? Because it used to be backed in gold. Now it's just a credit system.
You can't give money to any other living being on this planet except humans. No other living being will go, money has worth.
Yeah.
Only we see it. And because it's this, we've created this, like, I don't know, whole other world on top of the one that we're actually living in. And that's where money is food
Yeah.
and shelter.
Yeah.
As opposed to actually food being food
And shelter.
being shelter.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, as opposed to you being a free individual and being self-sufficient, you know, foraging for your own. Now there's this, like, money system in the middle of it where without it, you know, people there was a study, I think, that people were more fearful of going broke than death itself.
Wow.
So that's a weird thing. Like, think about how worried you are when you've got $10 in your pocket, and that's all you have.
Well,
like,
that was we're talking about the depressions, the Great Depression in New York, in what was it, the 70s?
The Great Depression.
The Great Depression was freaking, I can't remember when that was, 30s. I think.
Yeah.
But the recession, there was a recession in the 70s. I sat up last night watching the 4-part Donald Trump documentary. I don't want to say that very loud. But yeah, through the recessions and stuff where it got so dark that people would commit suicide because they couldn't afford stuff. And
yeah. Isn't that weird? Yeah. Isn't that weird? More than fear of death, you fear going broke.
But we tie so much of who we are to our worth, our financial worth.
Yeah.
So if we lose who we are, then a lot of people don't. What is the point of living?
Yeah.
Not that I agree with it, but that is the thought. There is a thought process behind it.
Yeah. We'll quote that one out of context. Yeah, but yeah, it's crazy, right? I hate to say it, a lot of my worries usually are about how am I going to pay this off and that and stuff.
Well, what surprises me is the attachments people get to, let's say, devices. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sure both of you probably have old phones that you've had in the past, or you've got a phone now, but you had an old one and you've got it lying around somewhere. Yeah. Or is that just me? I've got like 5 phones.
No, I actually don't.
Oh, okay. And the same thing, like when people, I'm not going to say majority, but people that each year they'll upgrade their phone, get a new phone, new device, and they're just constantly trying to keep up and have new stuff. What's wrong with the one you had before? It still works.
Well, we're coming into an age where the software disables it from being functional anyway, and it's just a bunch of wires and metal and glass.
I think, but people project a lot of worth onto the material as well. Like when you think about it, you know, people say weird things like, I need my phone. And I think we throw that need word around a lot. It's like, no, your life would be probably easier and more convenient with a phone, but you don't need a phone.
You would still have your life if you didn't have your phone.
What you need is like food, shelter, water, and love, right? And health. You don't need these things.
I find it interesting how you have an intersection of art and consumerism. So for these, like technology, there is some level of art that's coming into that. But if you kind of extend that beyond, like saying that we need the new tangible items, what if it's art? Is that you know, is that morally acceptable?
Yeah.
As opposed to just needing the next.
Saying, like, appreciate. Like, yeah, maybe there is that sort of appreciation for a device in the same way as art.
Is there?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, there's definitely a certain amount of artistic element to creating anything, I think.
But yeah, I go down and say, well, it's all like the software. and it's what's inside the device. Like consumers look at it as just the device or just the material object, but I think on the inside there's who's providing that sort of stuff. It's like that level tier. Like even when it comes to art, music, people consume music, but then on the top there's people that create the music, and then there's the people that produce the music, and there's people like it all streams down. Anything you could climb a ladder to see where it's going up at the top.
Yeah,
and we just sit down the bottom and just eat it.
It trickles down to us. Yeah. But I've had a month of Instagram,
And you're alive.
and I'm alive. I've had 1.5 years off Facebook, and a month off Instagram.
That to me is more impressive.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm just one of those weird people that scroll through but don't say anything.
But now,
No, but I disabled it for a year, and then I came back on with this idea that I'll be like, hey, I'm back. But then I'm like, I don't need to say that either. So I just kind of just reinserted myself in there. And then for 6 months, I never logged in. I only use Messenger to keep in touch with people. And then occasionally, if I want to check a page, I'll go on Facebook.
but at the same time, how much do you feel like you've missed out? Do you feel like you've missed out on anything?
Yes and no. My social life definitely sucks now because I don't know what's happening.
Don't go blaming Facebook for that.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think you're just an asshole. But a show will happen, and I'll be like, I didn't even know that was on. Or people were like, hey, you didn't come last night. I invited you, and that's a lie too. No one invites me.
There should be like a big, like underneath the privacy banner, a banner that says this person has disabled their Facebook for X amount of time. Or like let people know that they're not there.
Yeah. Okay. I also think there should be a yearly wipe of your social media. So it's just fresh every year.
Yeah, but we know that's never going to happen.
Why?
We know that our life history, everything that we've posted since the day we signed up and stuff.
I know. But just
I think
the
people
idea
need
that,
to feel like they're creating and building onto something.
Yeah.
I think you'd lose that element.
Yeah, I think so.
People would lose their shit.
Yeah.
It makes you think like when it comes to, I feel like we're talking too much about the data, but think about the servers, like the computer, the server farms at places like Google, Amazon stuff, that because they're constantly adding, they're not like clearing out information like you're saying they should. They're just constantly adding to it, which means these servers and stuff have to grow, and they have to keep growing, and they're like all over the US and like out. They build them out in the desert, and they have them super cooled and stuff, and they just constantly grow. And they're talking about how data is the new currency. Data is probably worth more than currency itself.
It is a currency.
Well, yeah, it is currency. More than our non-existent money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Man, that is... it's a funny thing to try and wrap your head around.
Yeah.
Especially when it happens so quick, This has really happened really quick, and especially when it wasn't existing when you came into existence yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it makes you realize how the whole cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and stuff actually works. Like the only thing that gives that stuff wealth is data. So the more data we're creating is giving that cryptocurrency value. So
a little bit of me is like when you just mentioned like they're building these things in the desert and like they're having to keep them cool and stuff. I was like, shit. I wonder like aside from all the psychological damage we're inevitably doing to billions of people, I wonder what something like that, what kind of impact that has on the environment. I wonder just how much it's actually like what percentage is something like this going to affect the environment. Yeah.
And how much power that's consuming as well and stuff like that.
Yeah, just like things like that.
Yeah. But these are like weatherproof underground bunkers as well. But they look crazy. It's like gigantic.
Can people walk down those? Is that why that...
Yeah.
Hallways after hallways.
And this one says at least 12 significant Google data center installations are located in the United States.
Oh, I hate that it's called a farm. That just...
Yeah. It's like, you know, the farm in the Matrix, how they're farming, they're harvesting all those humans.
Yes, there's nothing good comes from a farm. Except for berries.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, they use the word
Literally,
farm.
like these massive big warehouses and stuff that just have
crazy.
all these. I clicked on something. Probably.
There's some on a shipping container as well. Remember when Google were building shipping containers just filled with data points?
Yeah, I mean, you look at these things all over America, at least.
I wonder how much land they occupy. Because, I mean, we don't have much that isn't covered by ice or water, and that's going to be changing as well the more the climate changes. We're going to have less and less land, and yet we're building these bloody things. Isn't that so interesting? I wonder how much it costs. Oh, I'm just... I want to know.
Yeah, these things.
This is going to keep me up now tonight. I'm going to be up until 2, 3 a.m. not writing music, fucking Googling this.
Deleting all your every post you've ever done.
You won't find me in a desert.
Emailing Facebook and asking for a copy of all your
data. And to even think, like, Google is just the public domain company, but they're owned by, like, a deeper alphabet company behind it. So, like, this is all just in the public domain, but who knows what stuff that they have, really.
But I mean, the growing of these data farms, like, there's part of me that sort of realizes that the whole quantum physics and stuff, not quantum physics, quantum computing, and the advancements in technology, what they're doing is essentially making stuff smaller as well. You think about the computers back, in the 50s and 60s, we're talking something the size of the fridge, which would give you like a megabyte of data. And now we have we have a small little hard drive that gives you like 4 terabytes, gigabytes and stuff. So they're constantly building these systems smaller and smaller, which maybe means the farms won't get as big, but they'll be able to still store more and more information.
That's true.
How do they get approval to use that land and stuff? These are like these are private corporations, though.
Buy the land.
Like, they have more power than the government, these corporations.
Yeah.
Like Amazon and Google and that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Definitely more influential power.
Yeah, for sure. Now they have the power to, like, sway elections and stuff and see what they control, what actual, like, search results that you get as well. So
a little bit of me, like, wants to be a little fearful, because I'm like, I'm still a young person and I got to endure this into my older years. But I think it's predicted if our climate goes up by 4 degrees, which at this rate it will by 2050, so 30 years, that'll be so unstable for human life that we won't survive that. That's 30 years.
yeah,
And I feel like almost foolish even talking about something that I feel won't happen in 30 years.
yeah, yep. Yeah, that's definitely a big thing on people's minds, I think.
I can't believe I wouldn't be retired before the possible end of the earth.
Yeah. Jeez, that's kind of scary when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think everyone feels on every front, though, I think, that it's coming to a head, I think. We're definitely past the point of no return, I think. Or are we? Is there...
We have 18 months.
Yeah.
It's estimated we have 18 months to turn it around, because if we, even if it goes up 2 degrees, we'll have to relocate, it's estimated 2 billion people. 2 billion.
Wow.
To where? The moon?
Exactly.
The Mars?
Fucking where? You can't live here, but...
I know.
We should just live underwater.
Live in a blimp. Just keep
I think a lot
hovering
of
the
cities
blimp.
will.
Yeah.
Build big floating islands so when the ice caps melt, and like Waterworld with Kevin Costner.
I was thinking like actual AI. Remember that movie? And I think New York City ends up underwater in the end.
Yeah. Is that the one with... is that Steven Spielberg, that one? AI? Artificial Intelligence, right?
Yeah.
With Jude Law?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Yep. That's actually a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually really need to pee.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. You can keep going, or we can take a break. I don't know.
I don't mind.
Up to you. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, do you have to pee?
I don't have to pee.
No? Let's just keep rolling. Yeah. Do you have any shows coming up?
Shows.
Yeah. We don't know how current this will be because we're pretty terrible with our turnaround time.
Oh, great.
To be honest, yeah. No, it'll be up within the week. Within the week, yeah.
That's fine.
Any shows, anything that you wanted to plug? I know you're fairly active with shows and stuff, so.
Yeah. I mean, because performance is probably my favourite part of anything that I do.
Yeah.
So I've always got the duo going, doing covers and stuff. But just today, for I Call Val, the now 5-piece band, we penciled in some dates for a launch. I think it's September, October.
Nice.
Yeah.
EP? Or a single?
No. So we're dropping a new single, and it's going to be the debut for the new lineup, a new sound, a new image and stuff.
Oh, cool.
So that feels like, finally, it's so close. This has been a year, kind of behind the scenes, performing stuff that we've creatively evolved from.
Right.
So I'm really excited to be doing that. So
I think, reinvention is always necessary, I think, to keep it fresh. But it's always exciting when you're about to launch like a whole new vibe, right?
I know
Yeah.
it is, and you'll know this as a muso as well, though. Even like, okay, this next single that's going to be like the new sound, we're already like progressing beyond that. You always feel like something you're releasing is a little bit, just a little bit stale, but.
But we always, like when I was in bands, we always ran into that problem. We would be so far ahead of the material, but then we realized like, but it's still new for everyone else. Like you can't just keep changing stuff. Yeah. I would hate like, are you one of those people that change like the songs as well? You start modifying choruses, like I'm going to do this twice here and then stuff like that?
Nah, a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, because I'd always run into that with, I think I get it now though, because I've always been a facilitator, so I've always like helped other people's projects, but when I create, I can totally see how you'd want to chop and change things, or you'd feel so, like we were saying, far ahead of what the material is that you're actually playing. Like you can visualize almost where you want it to go, but it's not quite there yet. And I think that's the fun of it. Like you never really get it 100%. Like you're always chasing that dragon, but never really getting it. Yeah.
You got to find like a balance though, where you're content with the content that you're putting out there, whilst also being like a couple of steps ahead behind the scenes.
Right.
It's when I think you're leaps and bounds ahead behind the scenes that you get this massive detachment, and it's too uncomfortable to bear for too long anyway.
Yep.
So I know that I've been in that for some time.
That's cool.
I feel like I'm in a cinema.
Yes, that's my pet hate in the cinema. My freaking pet
Like
hates
a
people
bandit
eating in the
is really-
cinema.
Oh, I'm the worst as well. I like pull it out of my handbag. I bring a big handbag to the cinema.
Really?
What, you sneak food into the cinema?
Well, they don't have a lot of vegan food. Actually, that's changing. It is changing. I will spend a lot of money at the cinema now.
I just bring food in my bag. Yeah.
I bring the wine.
Are you a horror movie fan?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you see Annabelle?
Yes.
How was Annabelle? Because I've lost faith in some of the series. It got a bit corny. Yeah.
What else? Can I see the packet?
These are sour. I don't know.
I think these might actually be vegan. So nice choice.
It's your your birthday would happen, right?
Huh?
Would your birthday happen by the time this comes out?
It is my birthday.
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, that's awkward.
It's only been, 130 something episodes, and you just realise it's my birthday.
Oh, shit.
Thanks, Daryl. You've just like really broken my heart.
I feel like a bad friend. Wait, I thought it was tomorrow. Why did I think it was tomorrow?
This is why you don't get invited to things.
Yeah, I'm removing you from my Facebook friends list.
Oh, shit, man. Happy birthday.
Yeah, no, I've been keeping it quiet.
Oh my God. I was like, why are these spicy?
Oh yeah, the sour fire one. I thought
I was like, my mouth is burning.
is it like really hot?
Are you
No, it's great.
Are you good with spicy
I like
food?
chili.
Okay, all right. I hate eating while on the podcast because no, but we can make an exception because it's your birthday.
What's it called when you ASMR?
ASMR. Yeah, but Oh, these are really sour.
You wait till the spice.
Wait for the bite.
Yeah.
Is that spicy? I don't want
Do
spicy.
you feel it? Can you get it? You got it, yeah?
No,
Oh, maybe you got the dud.
it's sour.
And that's the sour fire or something like that.
That kind of works. Yeah, okay.
Maybe it's just a chili wrapped in sugar. I don't know.
That's so crazy. Have you tried the
No,
Natso's Angry Ranger? Is that gin?
a ginger beer.
It's a ginger beer
That's a bit spicy. Yeah,
Have
okay.
you tried it?
No.
It's too much. I don't say this ever.
Yeah. I know people love Natsos though.
Yeah,
They go
but
crazy for that.
it's too spicy. Like it was going up in my nose. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't finish a beer.
Well, I was actually, when it comes, because I went through a period where I was drinking a lot of energy drinks. Like I got introduced to Mother, and because I was so cheap, I was drinking lots of them.
Yeah.
But I put that to a stop. I haven't had a Mother for about
Energy drinks are quite
energy drinks for 5 months. But then at the supermarket, no, it was like freaking Target or something. They had this new store introducing Coca-Cola with energy. Like a Coca-Cola energy drink. And I looked at it because I love my Coca-Cola. And I just looked at it and went, that's scary.
That's where I draw the line.
That's where I draw the line. Is energy based. I mean, because you get Coca-Cola, you get cherry, you get ginger, orange flavored Coke and all that stuff. But then when I saw the Coke with the energy drink Coca-Cola, I'm like, no.
What, so they put more caffeine in it? Or guarana and stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't stop to look at it.
Coke's already that fucks me up. I don't really drink Coke anymore.
Coke really fucks me up too.
Yeah, if I have one, I literally feel really speedy and like jittery. And
It's that combination of sugar and caffeine.
Then you get this weird crash after you have like a headache.
But I actually find it strange. There's less sugar in Coca-Cola than there is in, say, Fanta or lemonade or lemon solo and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think Coke's got other stuff in it.
Huh.
But actually, on the side of the can, labelled, Coca-Cola's got less sugar than, say, Fanta
Right.
or something, yeah.
Yeah, which is still a fuckload.
Yeah, it's still fucking well,
yeah.
yeah, the lesser of all the evils.
Yeah.
Or maybe not, man. It's Coca-Cola. But
Are you one of those like really into cooking vegans, or kind of those malnourished, weedy, I just eat chips all day vegans? Because like there are those vegans that are still like their diet is just as bad as mine. You know what I mean? Like they don't eat meat, but they'll eat everything else like really bad.
Yeah, I can't talk too much because literally before I came here, I had like 2 sausages and that was it. I was like, this will keep me alive for a little bit longer.
Yeah. What type of sausages?
I think it was like possibly the Coles brand one. I bought like a shitload of Coles stuff because they just like bought them out and I was like, I'm trying it all.
Yeah.
I don't know, like because I haven't eaten meat since I was 13 when I stopped eating meat, and my mum was like, you're gonna have to make your own meals. It didn't happen. My mum is awesome, so she made a separate meal for me, and it wasn't until I was early 20s, because I'm in my mid 20s. So I think I was 21 that I went vegan. So yeah, 4 years ago. And I was this whole time I was really excited to like make food myself. And as it's become more popular and commercialized, there's so many much better options than I could make out there, and becoming more so at a reasonable price because I am really poor. So
you're a musician, so
yeah, inevitably. I don't know. There's days, weeks that I'll make really good, healthy, hearty food, and then when I've had a month like I have recently, where I've got all these releases coming up, and I'm having to produce a lot of content and stuff like that, I don't eat well. Oh my god, no. And it makes it really good that that's just shit like Coles sausages for vegans now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like-
Do you find, because you've got to keep your protein levels up, right? Do you struggle with that? No?
No, protein's not one that's concerned me. I've never had a lot of muscle. I try. But there is, I think, things like vitamin D, B12, iron, and I think magnesium is one.
They're all really good to take regardless, I think, as well. Yeah.
I mean, I eat a lot of veggies. I just eat a lot of veggies. I eat a lot of fruit and grains and stuff like that, and I think that that's really important. But yeah, just making sure that you're on top of your health in general. I think that everyone should be getting regular blood tests and shit like that.
I got to do mine. When was your last one?
How old am I now?
34?
So probably I'm 35, so probably about 35 years
35.
ago. No, I don't know.
When's your birthday? Because I've got to get mine. My last one was 2 years. I saw a naturopath 2 years ago. I had very high cortisol levels because I think I was stressing out a little bit in Melbourne when I moved over there. And it's good to get a snapshot as to where your levels are at, right? With your iron, cholesterol, sugar, blood sugar. What was the other one? Thyroid.
Yeah.
Thyroid also very important.
See, I suffer from FOFO. Fear of finding out.
Yeah.
It's actually a thing, FOFO.
Yeah.
And it's the whole thing, like, you know, it's actually a thing where people are scared to go to doctors and stuff because they don't want to know if there's
They
something
want
wrong
a
with them.
diagnosis,
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's actually quite common, mainly with men.
yeah. So I'd
Like-
rather not go to the doctor.
Guys just have this real problem. Even like all guys have that.
Yeah. I'll wait till a tooth falls out before I go to the dentist. That's fine.
Yeah. That's
See, yeah, I like to be on top of things. I like to be ahead of things. But I think that's coming from someone who's generally been healthy.
Yeah.
So I don't want to have the possibility of not being.
Yeah. Is it the finding out or is it the needle that you're scratching?
Yeah, probably just a needle. I hate fucking needles. I fucking hate needles. No.
Yeah. No,
So
I
no
get that.
tattoos?
Yeah.
No.
That's the fun needle.
Johnny actually has a gag reflex when he sees people getting needles. Don't remember? Like you actually have an adverse reaction to seeing people get injected specifically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I totally
would
get that,
pay to see that. That should be a whole show, just people's reactions to other people getting needles.
And so, like, when it comes to TV, needles and throat slitting, I walk out. I just can't do them.
So specifically throat slitting, right? Yeah.
Oh, I'm just thinking about it now. God damn it.
I mean, surely it doesn't happen an awful lot.
I think you just hate seeing it.
Yeah.
No, just
Yeah, especially in horror movies and stuff like that. But
So you do not watch horror films?
I do. I'm not a big fan of them, and I see a lot of movies through my fingers. Yeah. I just, yeah. I'm afraid of the dark.
Johnny jumps at trailers. You know, when it's just a trailer for a horror movie, that's enough. For
Yeah.
him.
So what was it? I went with someone to go see a movie. It was like it was a fun movie we went to see, but it had the trailer for The Conjuring Part 2 or 3.
Yeah.
It's only 2, yeah, so.
Is it not? Okay, it must have been the second one. But in the trailer, the cinema was kind of empty. There weren't many people. But in the trailer, something happened, and I screamed like a girl. And people turned around, and the girl was, which she's looking like, what was? I'm like, literally, I don't even remember now what movie we watched because I was just still terrified from the trailer at that cinema. I'm like, no.
Wow.
Yeah. See, I think there's something wrong with me because I thrive when I feel anxious in a horror movie. I kind of like. I find it more like exhilarating.
Yeah.
Like even though I am scared, but I like that rush of being scared.
I definitely feel that void when you're not scared and you're sitting there going like, why am I wasting my time with this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's even worse when it's not scary and you paid like $13 to see
Hey,
it.
I got a bit scared during Scream.
Scream.
Back in
Scream.
the early days when that first came out.
See, that's like Hollywood scary. Like Japanese horror movies, that's like next level horror movies.
Scream and
Yeah.
what's that other one?
The Ring? Do you like The Ring?
I think these are all very palatable horror films. I feel like.
Mind you, the one that I kind of got through was that The one you told me about, the Netflix series, that Haunting of Hill House.
That's a really good series. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I sat through that one.
Did you like it?
Yes,
I really
What
like
do you-
it.
I really did enjoy that, and
That has been the most exciting thing for me this year.
I think what
Series.
it was like, as Daryl explained it to me before I watched it, was it's kind of more like a family dynamic with just scary shit happening.
Yeah.
It's I really liked looking into the theory that it's the children represent the 5 stages of grief.
Oh wow, I haven't heard this
I
one.
didn't know that.
Yeah. There's so many theories that I love about that show.
Yeah.
You could do a whole podcast on this one show.
I do
It's
like
so
how every member of the family has a unique problem that they're dealing with, and it manifests in these scary ghosts or demons, I guess. Or,
Yeah.
Like addiction. And just like the whole family dynamic. One being kind of isolated from the others. And also that feeling that everyone's scared of, like not being there for your family when they need you. I think that was a big thing as well. Because you know how they're all kind of spread out. And when, I don't want to spoil it, but when a certain person needed the family around the most, they weren't there. Or just something simple like you don't pick up a phone call
Yeah.
and they really need you at that time, you know?
Yeah.
That always kind of fucks with me. Yeah.
But I think for me, it's the paranormal horror.
Holla.
Paranormal horror.
Yeah.
No, like when it comes to someone being chasing someone with a knife or a chainsaw, I can kind of do.
Yep.
But when it's something supernatural, sort of
You
stuff,
can't protect yourself against it.
Yeah.
because
Yes, I think that's why.
you learn from the movies that they feed on fear, and then there I am watching the movie scared,
Yeah.
and that it's gonna come out and get me because I'm fearing and. Yeah, it just spirals out of control till I'm hiding under the bed and then realize that that's where they hide. And I can't hide under the bed.
Yeah.
No. I recently had, I believe, I don't know if they're still there, but we had a ghost in our bathroom.
Oh, you have to tell us about this.
Yeah. So there's been a range of like very small things that have happened to my partner and I, but specifically in the bathroom. And funnily enough, it only happened after we watched the Annabelle films. Because we had to watch like 3 in a week.
Yeah.
And it started. I was having a regular old shower, and I used bars of soap, and flew out of my hand. And we have a shower curtain, not a door or anything. And it slipped between where the curtain is and where the tiles are. So it just went straight out. And I'm like all sudsy and wet, and I'm just like, God damn it. So I get out and I try and have a look for it. Small bathroom, nowhere to be seen. And I was like, well, shit. I had to go and find another, which isn't in my bathroom. I don't have a backup soap in my bathroom. Don't ask me why. So I had to go out and get another one. My partner's like, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, lost the soap. Anyway, I went back in there, and I said to him, if you find the soap another time, like, just put it back. We've got 2 soaps. A week went by, and we'd kind of forgotten about the soap. We had a rent inspection, so we fully cleaned the shower out and stuff like that. And I was having a shower, and I go to hop in, and on the step to go in, there's the soap sitting just right in the middle on the step. And I was like, oh, cool, Mitch found it. And so when I got out of the shower, I was like, where was it? And he's like, I thought you found it.
Yeah, that's weird.
And I was like, well,
Yeah.
if I found the soap, I wouldn't bloody put it on the step. That's something you'd do. And he's like, no.
That's weird.
And then there's just been other things like towels dropping off, the shower turning on, the window was open.
Is it like specifically the bathroom area, or is it
Just the bathroom.
Just the bathroom. That's weird. Do you know the history of that house that you live in?
No.
That's creepy when that stuff happens, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of stopped now, though. So,
Okay.
When I moved in here, some strange things started
This is a
happening.
very old building for people.
This
that
is
don't
a very
know.
old
Yeah.
building, and
How old?
we're talking the 20s.
Wow.
Even before the 20s, like it used to be an old sawmill or something like that.
Yeah. Then it was the old ABC
The broadcasting building, yeah.
Broadcasting building for
But
ABC.
the thing is, this room that we're in is actually part of the original establishment. Or sort of the back area and stuff was added later on. So this was kind of like originally back from when it was first built. And when I moved in, there was some strange things sort of happening, sort of noises and the problem with the lights flickering. I thought, no, it's just nothing. It's just bad electricity. Until the previous tenant, who is a mate of mine, started telling me that he's had things in this apartment, like things move and just strange stuff. And then I went and did the dumb thing and bought some motion sensor lights for my bed downstairs. And surely enough, I'm lying in bed and the motion sensors go off. No, nothing around. I'm like, fuck this. I've been in the shower and the door, like, you know, it's got a door, so the door's closed. And I turned around, you know, getting the shampoo out of my hair, and I just hear the bang, and I turned around, the door had just like closed. And I'm like, but it wasn't open. It was already closed, and it just like freaked me out. Like, how did the bathroom door just bang? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So I think I'm feeding it now. I'm feeding this.
Yeah.
Because you're fearful.
Yeah, 'cause I'm fearful, so,
yeah.
Yeah. You've seen the Conjuring, right? The 5 stages of possession. Is it the five stages or 3 stages?
I can't remember.
I can't recall.
But now
Yeah,
notice
but-
we've had some problems with the computer sometimes, and
Yeah, because
Or was it-
we've been getting into some like pretty deep topics, and we're just finding some weird stuff happening with like computer files, or when we're about to export something, it fails. Or what happened last time? Like the whole sound file had moved.
yeah,
So we had the video file, and then the sound file was just split, completely separated from it, or something like that. Yeah.
like somehow the sound file had cut itself in half and flipped itself. So the second half of the audio was first, and then the second half of the audio was later, but it was still to the same video. And it's never happened before.
Yeah.
So we've done this show like how many times now with the videos, and
Yeah.
just randomly.
So it's incrementally getting worse.
Yeah. So it's made its way into my devices now. So
Yeah.
I'm literally screwed now. I have to live with it. Well,
Yeah.
But that's actually what I like about the Conjuring universe, because it's based on true events.
Yeah, it's based on the. Where is that? Is it called? Is it Hill House?
Oh,
Well, no, Haunting of Hill House, but it's that place, Amityville. It's an actual place in America, right? With a real
Yeah.
family. With a real family, the Annabelle doll is actually real, but it doesn't look anything like the movie.
no, it's a Raggedy Ann doll.
It's more like a raggedy, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still in a case, and people can go visit it, which is really creepy.
I mean, people are very skeptical about the Warrens and the legitimacy
Yep, yep.
of their stories.
Yeah.
There's a little part of me, just being a horror fanatic, that I'm like, it's true.
Yeah.
It's all true.
Yeah.
have you? Another movie that I watched this on was just the Winchester. Something to do with the Winchester house,
Right.
and how it was. This is an actual house that's
Already, I'm like, no.
believed to be completely haunted.
Yeah, we'll fucking look at it.
But even the fact that the owners apparently built the house to contain spirits. And there's
what?
like multiple random rooms built in there, doors that are like sort of up top that just lead nowhere. And like this whole house is just this weird mystery. They take it down to the old lady that lived there had.
There's an old lady as well.
There's an old lady that lived there. Yeah.
There's always an old lady. Yeah.
That she was just had some problems and wasn't sure when she was hiring all these people to build these random rooms and random doors up in the air and bits and pieces. There's a whole. I can't remember what the movie was. It's called the Winchester, I think it's called.
Okay, well, look, I'm way less concerned about storing our personal data and more concerned with storing spirits.
Stories.
Yeah, yeah. And so this house has got like these random rooms and stuff in it that the old lady had built supposedly to keep the demons in. And
Oh, okay, so like just bad spirits. But
Does anyone actually live in there?
I don't know now. I don't know the story of what's happening with the Winchester house now.
That's already creepy.
another thing I'm Googling tonight.
Yeah. I know. I remember watching that movie, and I watched this movie, and I thought, "Oh no, this is a fun movie about a house." And it turned out, we googled it later, and the Winchester house is real, and the whole thing was based on real things.
Wow.
San Jose, California. Sarah Winchester.
How much money to stay there?
And yeah, that's
Why not?
right. She was the widow of the guy that the Winchester rifles and stuff that we know about.
Oh, okay.
And so a lot of the movie bases around people that died with Winchester firearms and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that plays into the movie a lot. But yeah, the house is supposedly meant to be super haunted with random rooms and
Yeah.
doors and bits and odd things.
I'll have to look it up.
Sick.
Yeah. I myself have not had any paranormal things happen to me. I'm so interested in it, but nothing's ever happened to me. Yeah.
You know who you bloody are?
Who?
Okay, one of the characters from The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
It's happening. You're just not acknowledging it.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Wait, what do you mean though? So it's
So, do you remember the eldest son of the children? He was seeing ghosts. He just didn't know they were ghosts.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I see what you
Almost
mean.
a bit in sort of denial, kind of like.
Yes, denial. That's exactly
Okay.
it.
Okay. I see what you mean.
100% in denial.
I don't think so.
Subconsciously.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe it's because you're not scared. Like they feed on me because I'm a fucking. I'm
Are they like mosquitoes? Like
yeah, like I'm hanging out with Jeff here. Jeff hung himself in 1922 from these very rafters.
Oh no! Don't say shit like that.
You bring it upon yourself.
Yeah. Well, they say they only expose themselves to people that either are they feed either believe or are fearful of them. Because you
No.
notice, like all the skeptics, they never ever will see it because they're closed off to it. I think,
Yeah, right.
or like you said, in denial about it. But
Or they're aliens. Or interdimensional beings.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, the ghosts might just be travelers from other dimensions that we're seeing, or actually seeing like a break in the dimensional walls
Oh,
that we
I like
look at
that.
and go like, oh,
Yeah.
to us they're ghosts because that's the only way that we can sort of describe them.
Yeah.
But they're actually like getting trapped in an interdimensional.
Yeah.
But isn't that that is what ghosts are?
I guess,
yeah.
yeah. I think people think that when something horrible happens, that just that passion and energy, especially like murders,
Right.
something actually like embeds itself in the environment itself, like in the walls. So they actually think certain hard surfaces like concrete, stone, and wood can actually hold energy over long periods of time. So if you have something horrible like a massacre or a serial killer, like the actual energy in that place, you can't remove what happened from that place. So it's kind of on a loop, a feedback loop.
Well, it would
You know when
work
people
like,
walk into a certain room and they're like, I feel weird.
Yeah.
Like I think people are really highly intuitive.
that's
to
how
that.
Paige felt when she walked in here.
That's how I'm believing. Yeah.
But it goes back to the whole time travel and multi-dimensional, and when people talk about afterlife and stuff, what if they're just being transferred to a different dimension, but every now and then they get trapped in that middle ground and,
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
and then decide to slit someone's throat?
No. Well, how often do you hear ghost stories like when someone passes away that at that same time people either felt it or they see a version of that person somewhere and then they find out later that that person like literally just passed away?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's some ripple effect where people...
I mean, I don't want to go dark and deep, but that's actually happened twice to me.
Oh, really?
That's actually happened? Yeah. All right. Oh, fuck it. When my ex from a bunch of years ago, we were going out, her father had cancer, and the night that he passed away, I was actually lying in bed and just had this really strange dream, and I saw him lying on the couch with his mother-in-law sort of holding him, and just this weird, this sort of moment that just felt really strange. And a split second later, there was a knock on the door, and my ex's mother opened the door and told us, "Oh yeah, your father just passed away."
Wow.
And I was like, "Fuck, that was weird." The second time, I I was having another weird dream, and I saw this girl that I knew, and just is so vivid. Like I can just still see it now. I was watching her jump off a cliff with a noose around her neck and just hung herself. I'm like, fuck. I woke up and like, what? That was really freaking strange. The next night I went out and found out that girl that I thought I saw actually killed herself over East.
Crazy.
Yeah. It still freaks me out even just thinking about it. It sounds weird saying, but I did actually feel and see those things at those split seconds that they supposedly have. It just like fucking freaked me out.
Yeah. You can't explain that shit. That's weird. I think maybe...
Fuck off, Jeff.
You're creeping me out.
Be quiet, man.
What's he saying?
He's saying...
Does he want a microphone?
Huh?
Does he want a microphone?